Okay, and we're back with Game 2 in a best-of-3 series between Liquid TLO, the purple Protoss over here on the right side of Lost Temple, and Mal's MorroW, the now green Zerg, up here in the top spawn. So basically they just switched positions from Game 1. I don't really have all the details of what happened here. MorroW just left the game without a GG, despite the game not being totally one-sided. I mean, I would have said that TLO had an advantage just because of what happened throughout the course of the game, but honestly, the supplies were pretty close. MorroW had the proper counters to what TLO was bringing over. He had decent defenses set up at his bases for those ground units, so it's kind of tough to call that. And it looks like they are playing again here on Lost Temple, obviously, but I'm not sure exactly what happened, whether MorroW DC'd or just left the game early. I don't know, but regardless, TLO and MorroW are now playing here again. Their positions are flipped. They're still at close flying positions. MorroW is going to scout this out quite quickly, see this Nexus, and pull his Overlord back, hoping that TLO doesn't see it. TLO not going to do anything too crazy proxy-wise, just going to stick to his very solid play, most likely going to be getting a Cybernetics Core here and a Zealot to plug the rest of the ramp there at the top. Looks like MorroW's not going to change anything either. This is a pretty standard ZVP build here, getting Speedlings first, usually with a transition into Roaches, but since MorroW just saw all that Phoenix and Void Ray play out of TLO, he might want to consider just going Mass Queens and Spore Crawlers quickly and getting Hydralisk Den as fast as he can, maybe even Aspire for some Corruptors, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to change up in this game. TLO building his second pylon after that Assimilator, nothing changing here from game to game. Spawning pool coming up as you would expect, so most likely going to be getting speed upgrade first and pulling drones off of gas. TLO is going to check the close spawn position first, but now he is going to see that Overlord. No, he actually isn't until the pylon finishes. Now he sees the Overlord, so he pretty much knows where MorroW is. MorroW has a second Overlord here ready to do some scouting a little bit later on as well. TLO building a Cybernetics Core as expected at the top of the ramp. He will be able to just put a couple of Fat Stalkers here and block this off, no problem. TLO now scouting into the proper direction here with a Queen coming out, Zergling speed being started, and all the drones being pulled off of gas, getting back on minerals, as you would expect. Chrono boosting probes out still, not chrono boosting these Zealots. I think he actually did chrono boost the Zealots there in Game 1. Cybernetics Core is done now. Last game, TLO did not research warp gates right away. Instead, he got a Stargate up quickly and air weapons level 1. This time around, he is going to start chrono boosting warp gate tech. So MorroW pretty much just playing standard, and actually this is probably a little bit better for him than that air-based play that we just saw out of TLO in that last game. This is, again, for the round of 16 of the TL Open, or the TSL Qualifier, number 4. These guys are playing for a spot in the next TSL with thousands of dollars in prize money. Winning this, you'll get $100, but you'll also qualify for that big tournament. TLO going to 3 gateways now, no Stargate on the field, even though he actually could have afforded one. MorroW, on the other hand, is just going to be doing all his macro tools right now, getting that hatchery, getting another Queen, getting Overlords, drones, and of course Zergling speed. Now he's getting 5 more drones, has not built a single Zergling yet, I believe. Let's look at the units tab. He does have 3 lings actually checking out these Xel'Naga towers, and one trying to poke the front here, I think, of TLO. So he does have a couple of lings. One of them must have died. Obviously, you can't just build 3 lings. 4 gates in the area now for TLO, and warp gate tech has been completed, so he can go ahead and flip these right away. He's not going to be able to afford much just yet. He has been saving up, and he has not been saving up any chrono boost, instead just cranking out probes off of 1 gas. This is a very aggressive strategy out of TLO, most likely not going to be expanding just yet, or at least until he sees how this attack fares. He warped in right down here at the bottom. Actually, no, these units were already in existence, so he should begin warping in. Yeah, there he goes, as he can afford it. A couple of Zealots here and a single Stalker coming in. Lots of Spine Crawlers being dropped. MorroW saw this 4-gate coming. He knew he needed these base defenses. All these Zealots should be able to hack their way through these Zerglings. That surround was good, but there are just not enough units here to take out these Zealots. Zealots will clean up the Zerglings, and now more Zealots showing up, more Zerglings showing up. Got tier 1 units against tier 1 units here, and a Queen running for her life, trying to get away from these Zealots and single Stalker. If he can get into the drone line and perhaps even kill off this spawning pool, that would be great for TLO. Instead, it looks like he is going to gun it, try and kill off this hatchery. Does not want all of his Zealots to be surrounded by these Lings. He got in a decent position there, but the first couple of Zealots do go down to those Lings, and the drones being pulled off the line to help attack. So TLO causing some early pressure, causing these drones to be pulled off the line, but in actuality, in units lost or resources lost, they were actually very, very even still. So MorroW going to go ahead and drop these 4 spine crawlers and make a sort of barricade here out of speedlings and spine crawlers, while TLO is actually expanding. So even though that attack didn't go as well as he had hoped, he probably would have loved to have a few more drone kills there with that large force of tier 1 units. Now he's just got a ton of sentries so they can endlessly force field this ramp in case of a MorroW counterattack. And here is the counterattack. Lots of Lings from MorroW coming in trying to take out this Nexus before it can complete, but TLO has enough units here to be able to defend against this. He does have 4 gateways after all. And right now just macro stuff going on, that Nexus completing, more probes being built, 8 drones in production here for MorroW, and a creep tumor. Like I said in the first game, MorroW is quite well known for his good creep spread. We see hallucination being chrono boosted out. TLO does not want to hesitate getting that hallucination started. That's interesting. So MorroW not getting a lair just yet. He is getting a second gas up. He does not have any additional tech. Looks like he did just do a double drone trick, or a double extractor trick, to create a couple more drones. Now he's up to 2 gas. Interesting stuff. He's getting 3 overlords at once. TLO, on the other hand, has a robotics facility about to finish. Hallucination is about to finish after being chrono boosted more than once. Don't normally see that going on. He's probably just going to hallucinate a single Phoenix and do some scouting with it. A lair is actually being morphed right now for MorroW on this injured hatchery. Aside from that, just more drones and queens. MorroW never wants to stop droning. 7 more drones in production. A robotics bay coming for TLO. Here is the hallucinated Phoenix that I mentioned just a moment ago, and he is going to try and check out MorroW's base. Not going to see anything too interesting, just a boatload of drones and a lair morphing. Obviously no Roachhorn or Baneling Nest is down. This hallucinated Phoenix is taking a few empty shots on those overlords, doing 0 damage, as all hallucinations do. He is going to gain all this vision here, see everything there is to see in MorroW's base, which honestly isn't a whole lot. He also should note that there are not a ton of Zerglings here. This is basically all that MorroW has right now. If TLO had been focusing primarily on unit production this whole time, he actually probably could have broken that front. But check this out, 3 Stargates being made right now, so it looks like TLO is sick of the 4-gate play. He did not like how effective it was in the early game, does not think it'll be too effective now in the mid-game. MorroW getting a Spire up, so that will be his tech of choice after getting this lair completed. Air weapons level 1 being researched yet again. Going to be seeing some Void Rays and Phoenixes, I'm sure of it. Income tab, TLO and MorroW are very, very even, but MorroW is starting to expand once again. He's going to be on 3 bases unless TLO scouts and stops this from going on. Scouting Phoenix still checking things out. Gonna see the Evolution Chamber and the Spire this time around, and yet another Spine Crawler being planted. Has MorroW seen what TLO is up to, though? That is the real question, and no, he has not. He saw the 4-gate. Did he see the robotics facility and the bay? Yes, he did, but the bay was actually canceled. No Colossus ever built. Actually, no units at all ever built out of this robotics facility. No observers, no immortals, no colossi. Instead, 3 Stargates were built. 3 Phoenixes came out of there already. Single Overlord here from MorroW. I don't think he'd be able to get over here to scout this in time before getting killed off by those sentries. MorroW trying to break down the destructible rocks here at his gold location while he takes a 4th base down here at the bottom spawn location. Interesting stuff. MorroW trying to expand all over the place because TLO basically has not moved out of his base in a while, but that's because he is massing an air army that most likely MorroW will not be able to deal with. Look at all these Phoenixes already in the air, and we've got more being chrono boosted out. Soon he'll be at 9 Phoenixes. MorroW does not have what it takes to defend against us. He's got 10 Mutalisks in the air right now, and Zerg flying attacks level 1, but this air weapons level 1 for TLO should complete before then. TLO might not even move out with his Phoenixes until that air weapon is completed. Actually, the Mutas are going to basically force TLO's hand. They're chasing after this hallucinated Phoenix. I don't know if he realized it or not. Oh, here we go. So we have about 9 Phoenixes against 10 Mutalisks. The Mutalisks cannot shoot while they are flying around these Phoenixes. Oh my god. Absolutely destroyed the Mutalisks. There are no Mutalisks left in the air, still 9 Phoenixes left. Graviton lifting everything they can, drones all over the place, killing Mutalisks as they pop out, killing Overlords, lifting drones. These Phoenixes are not going to be stopped. There is a single Spore Crawler on the way now, but these Phoenixes will have done their damage by the time that thing completes. More Overlords going down. That Spore Crawler is finished, but all these Phoenixes are going to be just fine. TLO just going to guide them to safety. Now we have a 10th Phoenix. Overlords being killed left and right, but MorroW still above the supply cap somehow. Now with this second and third Overlord going down, another Mutalisk going down, another Queen being lifted. MorroW in sad shape here is not going to be able to create Mutalisks fast enough. Actually, Mutalisks are a terrible idea to invest in right now. He needs a Hydralisk Den, and there we see it start to come up. TLO checking the rest of the map for expansions. He's going to find this one over here at the far left spawn, lift that Queen, get him out of the picture for good, or her, sorry. Some players complain when I call the Queens a he, my bad. But drones being lifted constantly. 10, 11 Phoenixes now in the air for TLO, just lifting as soon as he possibly can. Actually, not enough energy for any more Graviton beams, so he is going to have to take it easy for now. He's got 3 more Phoenixes coming to join the fun, and a single Void Ray coming over here, most likely to go ahead and just take out this hatch. These Phoenixes riding around, killing off whatever they feel like, because they cannot be stopped. 2 Hydralisks in production now for MorroW, but this huge number of Phoenixes gathering energy all the time, going to be able to lift this Queen once again, lift any Hydralisks that come into the area instead. Actually, he's going to use a lot of his energy to lift up these drones. A couple of Hydralisks were actually killed there. 8 in production now for MorroW. All these Overlords going down. The Tier 1 forces of TLO that he's had chilling at his natural expansion the whole time are now coming over to join the fight and try and take on these Spine Crawlers. All the Phoenixes killing off Overlords. Still, MorroW at 75 over 56 supply. He is heavily blocked. Going to have to pull all of his drones to help try and fight this off, but at this point, I hope it's as clear to you guys as it is to me that TLO is going to be taking this game here any moment now, lifting all the rest of the Hydralisks. He's got still more energy to lift Queens, Hydralisks, anything that pops out. These Zealots, of course, are going to be able to wear down the rest of the Spine Crawlers and kill off these Spore Crawlers so that the Phoenixes have nothing to worry about. Here comes that Void Ray with 0 kills, but he is getting in on the fun finally, charging his laser beams against this single Hydralisk. Everything being killed off right now for MorroW. He's making 10 Hydralisks as a last-ditch attempt, but this number of Phoenixes and Zealots is not going to be held off by that number of Hydralisks. MorroW forced to GG. Liquid TLO takes this game. Even though the first game was kind of unclear what happened, he does take this game on Lost Temple, and he advances to the round of 8 in the Team Liquid Open. They did not play another game, so that to me means that MorroW probably talked to an admin or a referee and decided that TLO should advance. And congratulations to TLO. Now I'm going to cast some more games from the TL Open or the TSL Qualifier number 4. Here we go.